The opinions expressed in this show are the views of the host and not necessarily that of WTRW, 94.3 The Talker, or the Bold Gold Media Group.
The following presentation is paid for by Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, who is solely responsible for its content. Portions transcribed.
All Century 21 real estate offices are independently owned and operated.
Hi, I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, Century 21, Jack Ruddy Real Estate. Welcome to the Real Estate Roundtable on 94.3 FM The Talker. I am here with my husband, fellow realtor, Pat Devaney.
Good morning, Jackie. How are you today?
Marvelous. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
We have with us Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
That's throwing me off because I refer to you as Frazier.
Most people do.
Yes. So,
like in my career, most people do.
yes,
That's
from
right.
here on in, you will be called Frazier.
Yes.
During the course of this recording, okay?
Yes.
Thank
I'll
you.
respond to that.
We're here every Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. where we talk real estate. We have a full-time real estate office with many exceptional realtors. We've been listing, selling, and appraising real estate for 50-plus years.
During the week, feel free to email us with any questions you have at questions@jruddy.com. That's questions@jruddy.com, or you can give us a call at 570-344-6724. And when you go to jruddy.com, click on the webcam tab. We have a really nice high-definition camera on the roof of the building and pointed at the corners. And we get thousands of hits a month on that from all over the world, believe it or not.
Well, this
Really and
time of
truly.
the year, I like to point out that it's a fabulous resource for people who are heading out in snowstorms.
Want to see what the weather is.
Oh,
You want to
yes.
see road conditions.
That makes sense.
Yes. So mobile-friendly jruddy.com, which you can also find all our listings on and the MLS listings. And don't forget about social media. Look us up on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest. Welcome, Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors. Good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fantastic.
Great.
Let's talk about design.
All right. What do you want to talk about?
Everything, and I think whatever we can fit in, right? So probably the thing that I'm going to talk about first, because it makes me the happiest right now, is the reintroduction of color in interior spaces again.
So the
The
white.
world of greige
Okay.
is gone. That
And black
sea
and
of
white?
Greige is out.
How about black and white?
Black and white's in, especially in kitchens, baths. Black and white's good.
Still
You're
very
still, Yeah,
classic.
some things are classic, like a
Yeah.
subway tile.
All right.
It's never going to go out of style. It doesn't go in and out of trend. You know, it's just
Gone
always
are the
beautiful.
grays.
Gone are the grays. Well, the greige, you know, that gray beige mix, almost like an oatmeal. Like it's gone. Thank goodness.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Goodbye and good riddance.
What colors?
I'm thinking the huge color that's on trend now is green. Green is the scene, my friends. And you've heard it here first. It's true.
Okay.
It's a beautiful thing. It's coming in a bunch of different colors and hues, and it's being used everywhere.
Dark, light,
All of it.
All of it.
More dark, I'm seeing, than anything else.
rich.
But it's rich. It's deep. It's bold. But you're seeing it in cabinetry and kitchens, which is beautiful. You're seeing it in upholstery. You're seeing it in tile. You're seeing it in wall color.
As much as I love a color, and maybe I would love this green,
Yeah.
if I do a cabinet in that color, I'm going to be stuck with that for how long? I mean,
Long time.
right?
Yeah. A long time.
So trends, keep in mind, right?
Right.
So this is something that you're going to spend a lot of money for.
It is.
And you got to not
Love it.
only love it, but be prepared to die with it.
Yeah.
Would you say that painting is painting the things in the kitchen green is probably something you can change easier than doing a cabinet, right?
Well, it is, but the whole thing is even if you order that cabinet, it's still painted. It's a color. It's not a stain.
Right.
So it's still painted. So yeah, you can definitely do that. I mean, you're going to get a better result with with a professional cabinet maker, of course. But as a cheaper alternative to that kind of change, sure, most definitely. But I think that change happens all the time. If somebody puts a kitchen in and they put it in the 90s, even if they didn't do it in a trendy fashion, what's done is still has to be updated and changed. You know,
True.
Everything has a life cycle.
Sure.
Right? And there's a beginning and then there's an end. So
Yeah.
But things like that, I think, are going to stay.
I think it's a bold move.
Yes,
but
it
if
is a bold
somebody,
move.
but if somebody plans on staying there forever, life changes. I'm
Yeah.
not a risk taker in that respect. I wouldn't see myself, but I could see what you're saying. So it's big. What about these kitchen designs that are coming out? Go ahead, Pat.
It was this beautiful kitchen. I saw it. It's this big, long, beautiful kitchen.
Oh.
And the top cabinets were white, and the bottom cabinets were something else.
I'm going to say this in a very strong statement. Not a fan. I don't like the look. I don't think the look is a good look, and I think it's a regrettable look, to be honest. I think if anybody has it, they're going to get sick of it, and that's going to change a lot faster than a painted cabinet. Because in all honesty, there needs to be uniformity
Yes,
there
absolutely.
and continuity. I'm a fan of having your island a different color and even a completely different material. I love that idea. But the upper and lower cabinets, they're a set. They belong together. They should be the same.
Right. I looked at it and I said,
It looks confused.
It is. And I
Confused
don't
and
know
busy
anything
and
about
cluttered.
it. It looks like it's half done.
Yeah.
It looks like you got new ones up there and then something else down there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm not a fan of it.
And
And I really think it's someone, or maybe that the cabinet industry, just trying to bring out something new.
New.
And
Right.
new isn't always better. Sometimes it's just new.
Yeah,
And I think that falls under that.
I have a hard
category.
time with that look as well, and
Yeah.
I find it's best to have a space that won't already look outdated when you
Right.
put it in.
Right. And if you want that variation of color, again, bring it. Do your island a different color, right? Or different countertops on your island versus your other counters, and bring in a different kind of flooring. Like there's a lot of different ways to achieve that variation if that's what appeals to you.
And we can walk in, Jackie. I walk into a house with Jackie, and she can tell in an instant when the kitchen was done. She goes, "Oh, this is a
Yeah.
70s. Oh, this is
Right.
an 80s. This is a 90s."
Yep.
She can do all of that at a glance because this
You've
is
seen so much of it
yes, this is her thing.
at your young tender age.
At my-
Jackie.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's read the history books.
Well, remember,
Yeah.
my dad started the business, so I would go with him
Sure.
as a little girl, right?
Yes, you
So
would.
I've been through houses all my life, and so it's
You can
something
see it.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So this is the trend. What about I'm seeing and reading, bringing that spa-like, and I would think that that's where these greens come in.
Yes.
Atmosphere into incorporate it throughout the home,
Yeah.
not just the bathroom.
Yeah. Right.
Is that what's happening out there?
It is, and I think it's that good for a lot of people because people, like you were saying, Jackie, you're not crazy about being a risk taker, right? That way you can create a look without taking huge risks because you stay kind of in that same color palette throughout the house. There's a lot of continuity, a lot of flow as you move from space to space. They're not disconnected, and it creates that feeling. It's more of a Zen feeling. It's very
Harmony.
calming, harmony. We
Peaceful.
see things like, in bathrooms, you would see and those colors typically are lighter shades. They're not darker shades because those bold, rich shades don't create that calming feeling as much as a lighter shade. Like a lighter, sagey, earthy green. That stuff is very common. This is why you see it in spas and things like that. That's why you see those colors used there.
So
And then-
more of a balance. You're striking
Very much more of a balance, yeah.
Instead
And-
of going from purple to
Right,
gray to
right.
yellow to blood red.
Right. And they're going to go say blue and green, but the blue and green are going to be in the same color volume. They're both going to be in a lighter palette. So they're going to flow. Your eyes easily going to move from one color to the other when it changes. There's no visual abruptness to it. And then you're going to use a lot of more natural, earthy things. Like, in other words, in the floor of your shower would be stone instead of tile. Natural stones would be in there, and even on the floor, because it's just more calming. It's more earthy. It just calms the human soul more.
So from interior decorating standpoint and perspective, are you busy right now? I mean, we're all fighting inflation, right?
Yeah,
So we're
yeah.
all getting hit at the gas pumps,
Yes.
grocery store. Are people spending money like now doing
Yeah,
this?
I have to be honest. We're very, very busy.
Are you turning
a
customers
really good
away,
thing.
clients away?
It's happening
Okay. Are you
because
experiencing?
we just can't get to them.
You can't.
No,
So
not in a timely fashion.
okay, so are you seeing supply chain issues? What's
Yes, huge supply chain
So
issues.
what are you having trouble getting your hands on?
Honestly, the funny thing about it is it's better if I deal in products that are made in the States because we can get them easier. You know, a lot of what
Are they more expensive?
Not now, because of that supply chain. Getting it over here from other countries, that expense has gone through the roof, as we all know. And of course, that financial hit is passed on to the consumer eventually. You know, it all trickles down. So you're paying more for those products to come over. So, and the odd thing is, aside from that, there's no rhyme or reason, because I might be able to get an end table in a month, but I can't get a coffee table for 9 months, you know. But then there's no rhyme or reason as to why that's happening, because the supply chain, as we know right now, is just all over the board.
Right. I know a
It's
place.
a spider with so many legs.
A friend of mine down in Jersey is doing a big project, and one of the things that they did was it's a big project. They sourced everything locally.
Yeah.
I mean, the stone is coming
Right.
locally. They're doing like a brick face, and they're doing the pavers, and all of this comes locally. So they have a time frame that they need to be done, and they expect to be done in the time frame and everything. So that's huge. I mean,
It's huge. It's huge.
And like you say, they don't have to pay to transport it halfway across the country or across the world.
Exactly.
What year did we do our house over?
We finished it in 2008.
So then that means we probably ordered our kitchen floor tile in 2007.
Yeah, but we.
And it got hung up in Mexico.
Yeah,
or
it did
came
get
from
hung up. Yeah, it
I
did.
mean, long
And that's
before
15 years ago.
supply chain issues
Yeah.
were the buzz, you know, were the thing. We had that problem. We couldn't finish our kitchen because they got stuck.
Yeah,
for
they had to
whatever
go do a
reason.
different part of the house. They had to go a different part of the project. The schedule was all screwed up.
Which I think, like, a heads up to everyone listening, that's going to happen all the time, even when there weren't supply chain issues.
Right.
And I remember those days fondly, as we all do, I think, because it was easier. But there was always one wildcat that got out of the cage. And, for some reason, I've got to wait 9 months for that tile now.
Our floor,
Yeah.
yeah. So, okay. So that's hindering things, I'm sure, but you're making the best of it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, what's going on with countertops, vanities, tabletops? There's a new night sky mineral look.
Yeah.
Wanna talk to me
Which
about
is,
that?
again, it's going to go back to your spa feeling, Jackie. It's very earthy. It's really natural. You know, we love natural products.
I could
especially in
see that
counters.
lasting. I could see that.
Yes, I can too.
I could see
I
that
can too.
staying. I can't.
I feel the same way about
that
it.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's going to be.
It's going to be a staple.
Yes.
It's going to be a staple. It's something you would not replace, and it wouldn't be a regrettable purchase.
And it makes it easier to sell your home.
Sure, it does.
When it's
Certainly
like
it
that.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
And it's like a dark blue with some pale blue and white streaks.
Yeah. Yeah. So see, again, a nice, easy palette, soft on the eyes. Nothing
Goes with
abrupt,
anything.
Goes with anything.
Anything.
Yeah. Very much so.
All right. Good. All right. So let's talk about minimalism and where you see are there any changes? Is that in? Is
Yeah,
that
I
out?
think
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. For a guy like me,
Well,
what is it?
Pat.
come on,
Wait,
JC, help
Pat's
me
dipping
out
his
here.
toe in the water.
What is
Just
minimalism?
think about it.
It's you want the least possible
So you
of
have
everything.
like
So you want an empty room?
You have a 20 by 15 room. You walk in
What
and
do you want,
see
one
a little
table?
table and a little chair and maybe a little plant.
That wouldn't work with you, dear. No, would not work with you. I'm sorry. Minimalism.
it's been
no,
in.
I think when Pat thinks of minimalism, he thinks of my room with a recliner, a TV,
and a
and a
remote.
remote. Yeah.
Do you know we were driving by a house
It's
the
not
other
that.
day? We
And
were
the
at a-
TV was so big.
Yeah. Why?
We were going to stop the car
I
and
don't
watch
under-
TV.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because it was a football game, and I could see
They
everything.
are
was like
not
you were pulling up
suffering
to the
from
drive-in.
minimalism.
It was.
No.
I thought I was up at the Circle driving.
It
I don't
was
understand
huge.
this. I mean, I have large TVs in the house, but nothing overwhelming. They all seemed aesthetically to fit in scale and proportion to the space they're in. I don't understand.
Come
that.
on, Fraser. What's important? What's important?
Have a TV over the fireplace.
Get your
so
priorities
big, so
straight.
big,
Yeah, it has
so
to be as
big that
big
it
as the
dwarfs.
wall.
I don't
So, yes.
understand because it's overwhelming. It doesn't fit in scale and proportion. Therefore, in design speak, it's wrong.
How far
wrong.
away were we? At least 200
If we're
feet.
talking design.
Yeah, I could read everything.
I
on
could
this.
see the football players as if I was like on the field. I was like awestruck.
Yeah.
I said,
You're like, I didn't know Pat and I were going to the Circle Drive-In, and yet here we are.
Right on Delaware Street. It's amazing.
Yeah, I never understood that. And I still don't understand it. But I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing, right?
Well, sure. If somebody, that's the way they want to live, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. But from a design standpoint.
From a design standpoint, no,
Yeah,
it is incorrect because just simply goes back to scale and proportion. That's all it is.
All right.
Oh,
Now,
that's funny.
what
And
were
they
we-
crank them up against the ceiling, which is something I don't understand now either. I don't. Like, why
you gotta
is it
sit there looking up at the ceiling.
You don't live in a Hooters. It's your house.
Are you sure about that? They want to bring the Hooters in.
Speak for yourself.
Like, bring that TV down. I just saw a mount the other day looking through a design magazine, and it was above the fireplace. But the mount actually now comes out and drops down.
Oh, really?
So the television viewing is more eye level when you're sitting.
So you can have it in front of the fireplace and it melts?
Yes, that's the objective because the TV is too damn big anyway. So let's melt it. Let's get rid of it.
Then we could get a bigger one.
Yeah, but I love the idea that it brings it down.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
I mean, because I remember as I sit here and age myself, when I was growing up, they were on the floor. There were
Yes.
consoles on the floor. And now we have them up by the crown molding? What are we doing?
I don't understand.
No, stop. Stop.
But it was a huge piece of furniture,
Yes, it
which
was
you
a
would
huge piece of furniture.
you would incorporate in your room.
Yes,
like it was,
you would
right?
incorporate that into your design scheme.
Yeah, our
Absolutely.
entertainment center's in or out.
Yes, my mother had a beautiful lava lamp on top of her. So that's not a lie.
I could see it.
Yeah, of course you could.
So, okay, minimalism. Let's talk about that. In or out?
It's out
Redefined?
and I think the way that I want to explain it so that I think it's relatable and understandable is if you look at Scandinavian design, that has a minimalist side to it, but it's still warm. You know, the finishes, of course, are usually light, and then the pieces are lower. You know, the backs of chairs and things like that are lower because your eye can just flow over it. So the lines are clean, but there's more warmth to it. It's not just, as you said, Jackie, a plant and a table and a chair. There's a little more to it, but it's still minimal.
Yeah.
It's definitely not overdone.
But bringing depth and
Yeah,
design.
it brings in depth and warmth into it, so the space feels comfortable and inviting and not
Stark.
cold and stricken.
Yeah, okay.
And stark.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about
So
maximalism? Where every inch of the room is something,
No,
every inch of
and
the wall
that
is
never
something.
should happen. You always need negative space. Your eye needs somewhere to relax, so you always need negative space. So, like when you're in a room, don't put something on every single wall. Like leave a wall alone. You know, usually you'll have, like, say if you're entering your room and your opening is there, and you have some larger major feature walls where you put a focal point, but maybe the walls where the opening is, just don't touch them because your eye does need to relax,
Okay.
and that way it stops the cluttered look and the that overabundance, which just never looks good.
So the 50 throw pillows, all the different patterns and colors.
No, we've really, really, really shaved that down dramatically to 49 pillows. So
Or you got to move a pillow to sit down?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Well, here's the thing I think with that, which is don't do more, do variation in size. That's where you're going to get a better effect if you
Nice.
do a collection of pillows on your sofa. Like do a big one that's like 24 inches, then do an 18 and a 20, and then you're done. You know, maybe tuck those in the corners and then you're done. But do variations of size and shape, and that's how you're going to get interest out of it. Not by just piling on more and more and more and more. That doesn't always work.
Right. So, yeah, you got to live in it, and it's got to function.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
there's 55 pillows, where do you sit?
Right.
Okay, good stuff. With us today is the owner of Infinite Interiors, Scott Frazier. Everybody calls him Frazier. How does someone get in touch with you, please?
You can reach me at 570-933-0495, or you can also email me at Scott Frazier, that's SCOTTFRAZIER 1219@gmail.com.
So you're turning customers away.
Yep.
And how far are you booked?
We were, it got to 4 months and then it started to exceed that. So sometimes that's when
if someone can wait and they really want you.
And people do.
And
there are people who do that.
Yes.
But I have to be transparent about what that wait period is. You
All
know?
right. Well, I'm glad you're busy.
Me too.
That's wonderful. Pat, would you like to review a listing?
Yes, we have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home at 1017 Grove Street in Avoca for $130,000. This home sits on a 40 by 130 lot with a fenced-in yard. Low taxes of only $1,400 a year. That's my favorite thing. And it's across the street from Plain Street Park. This well-maintained home has a new roof, a new furnace, a newer water heater. It also has ductless air conditioning, spacious closets, and an attic for storage where you can put all of those tables up and away. And it has an enclosed rear porch. That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home at 1017 Grove Street in Avoca for $130,000. That's listed by James Caceres of our office.
Why would you put a perfectly good table in the unfinished attic?
That's absolute.
You got to use it.
That is absolute insanity. You're correct, Jack.
Yeah,
that's
I
insane.
can't.
I think
even.
if you have a problem and you have a lot of extra tables, you might want to store some of them.
Nobody has any problem or extra tables.
Yeah, I've never heard of too many.
Never.
Never. It's not a
See?
thing.
Is that like
Frazier's
money?
on my
Is that like
side.
money? You
Yeah.
can never have enough
Yes,
tables?
it's like someone saying, "Oh, I have too much money." No one ever said.
No.
No one's ever said that.
Shout out to Jim Seaman, who's a faithful, loyal listener of our show. You want to say hi to Jim, Pat? He's a good friend of
Yeah,
yours.
tuck that car away. He's got a nice car, and for the winter, he puts a little blanket and a pillow underneath it. Yeah, so it's
Yes, he likes to listen, and we appreciate that, Jim. Stay with the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21, Jack Ruddy Real Estate, a 94.3 FM. The Talker will be right back after a very brief break. When considering to sell or buy a home, why choose Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate? Let me tell you why. 70% of home buyers settle for the first agent they meet, and many regret it. 90% of home sellers hire an agent, but was it the right choice? Don't have agent remorse. I'm Jackie Ruddy, and I've been in and around the real estate business for most of my life. And at Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, we've been selling real estate for half a century. But we do not do it halfway. You deserve better than average. Average doesn't help you. We know it's all about you and what you need. Century 21 is the #1 in brand awareness, is the most recognized name in real estate, and is the most respected in the industry. In this market, if you dream big, you need to move fast. So it makes perfect sense to contact Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate, 570-344-6724, and visit jruddy.com. That's JRUDDY.com. We're back with more Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM The Talker. I'm Jackie Ruddy, broker, and with Pat Devaney, my husband, fellow realtor.
and we're back.
With Scott Frazier, also known as Frazier. He is the owner of Infinite Interiors. We're having a wonderful discussion with you, Frazier, today.
Yes, we certainly are.
So at first half of the show, we mentioned how these trends in a home and the decorating is bringing a spa-like atmosphere into all of our rooms with color and calming effects. There's also a link of wellness being with organic, cozy materials.
Right. And
That's
isn't it-
happening. So how do you do that?
You do it by combining
Bless.
different materials. So the tactile factor is really important in putting a space like that together. You don't want things to be smooth and sleek. You want them to be a little more tactile. So, grass cloths and things like that are going to work really well to get you to where you want to be if you're putting a space together like that. As along with the color palette that we already talked about.
The green.
The green and the blue, but light tones, easy on the eyes, and natural. Again, back to natural materials, stone, as I had mentioned. So bring those elements in, and it's going to create that cohesive, easy space. Because the whole thing you're going after when you create a space like that, or really when you create any space, is a feeling. You're trying to create a feeling. And that's what that does. It creates a feeling, and that feeling of wellness and wholeness and zen. That's
and
how it's
peace
all
and harmony and
right.
balance.
That's
and
how it's all
that.
created.
That's how it's achieved.
That's how it's achieved.
Okay. All right. So what about one of these trends is going away in 2023? Design contrary to location. And I don't know that people really are mindful that they are doing it. They like a look and they want to bring it into their home. And if that's what they want to live in, that's great.
Then that's great.
So I certainly put seashells up on my walls and, life's a beach. And
Well, I mean, if you're you're in Cape May, then go for it. But again, it's for me, design-wise, I think it could be difficult when the inside is in such stark contrast to what's outside. There's something odd about going into a Manhattan brownstone and having it have a beachy flavor. It just, it doesn't mesh.
Or a farmhouse.
right, a farmhouse in Manhattan. Yeah,
but
gotta love it.
Here's the other part, not contradicting myself, just building on that point. There are ways you can achieve it because there is a look called urban farmhouse. And that's achieved with really straight lines, sleeker, more modern design. It would be like Shaker, but done with a more modern flavor. So the finish on the chairs might be black and it might have a bit of a polish to it. It's not going to be heavily distressed and roughed up. It's going to be more modern. But you can bring that in, and if you put that against a lighter palette, you get that great contrast, right? Of that black against that, zenny green wall. But that's going to start to move you in that direction of farmhouse, but it doesn't look out of place in an urban area. So you can achieve all those things. You just have to be smart in your decisions.
It can't be an explosion of farmhouse
Well,
material.
You know what you want to steer away from is the kitschy, tchotchke stuff. Like that. Like, don't throw fishnets on the walls. Like, stay away from that kind of thing. Always think classic. Always think, is this going to be aesthetically beautiful? Not kitschy. It shouldn't look like you're walking into Cooper's Seafood House. That's not,
I don't want to live there.
If you've gotten there design-wise in your house, please call me. I will fix it for you. Because you can get there with those themes, but you need to get there in really smart, tasteful ways.
What about wine walls? Don't they say that those are in now?
Only if you're at Altar House.
Yeah, they're great in a
Ruth's
restaurant.
Chris. Yeah, Ruth's Chris, they have a wine wall.
It's great in a restaurant, but this is your home. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst. If you had a massive kitchen, it wouldn't be the worst thing to put it on, but not a feature wall. Maybe if you have a little tiny niche or a small wall, do it there. And that should satiate that need for you. But the whole massive wall, then go downstairs and put it in a wine cellar.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think it looks confusing. And it also looks busy. Because think of all the little tiny openings, then all the bottles. Visually, it creates a lot of clutter and a lot of busyness. And it's too much visual activity for a home space.
Well, they're saying it's in, and that wouldn't be something that I would.
No, it wouldn't appeal to me either.
Okay. Scott Frazier, owner of Infinite Interiors.
Yes, I am.
How does someone get in touch with you, please?
You can reach me at 570-933-0495, or you can email me, my name, Scott Frazier, SCOTTFRAZIER, 1219@gmail.com.
Great. Now, would you come back next week so we can talk more about interior
I
decorating?
think you could twist my arm, Jackie.
All right.
Yeah, I
Thank
think I
you.
can do that.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Pat?
Yes, we have a lovely 3-bedroom, 2-bath home at 529 Maple Street in Scranton for $159,000. This Southside home sits on a 160-foot deep lot. It has reasonable taxes of only $2,100 a year, off-street parking, and a detached 2-car garage. This move-in condition home has a large living room and dining room with an eat-in kitchen with views that overlook the pool. That's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home at 529 Maple Street in Scranton for $159,000. That's listed by Dan Callahan of our office.
Thank you, Pat. And our son, happy birthday to Patrick this week.
Oh,
He
that's
turned
right.
17.
Oh, happy
My
birthday,
God, how did
Patrick.
that
How did
He's
that
no
happen?
longer a little boy. He's
I
a young
can't
man.
believe it.
Yes. We're out of time. Thanks for tuning in to the Real Estate Roundtable with Century 21 Jack Ruddy Real Estate on 94.3 FM. The Talker. Remember to join us next Saturday at 11 a.m. and Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Have a great week.